It's Maryam's making magic. Maryam's making magic. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to another episode of Maryam's making magic. Okay, and so for our Harry Potter element of the day, I am wearing some ASQ limited jewelry made by my own beloved daughter, Sister Alima. She makes jewelry, so make sure you go check out that site. This is ASQ Ltd. And it's on Etsy, so you just go into Etsy and look that up. And these are my lightning earrings that she made, and I absolutely love them. These are pastel pink. I'm not really a pink gal, but I think these look snazzy and compliments me well. So that's my Harry Potter element of the day. Now, for this episode of Maryam's Making Magic, we'll be making farina bread, and we're going to be making it two different ways, two different farina breads. We're going to be doing a garlic herb farina bread, as well as a delicious buttery original farina bread. Okay, so let's get right in. Someone heard me making an advertisement for their jewelry line and decided she wanted to come be in the video. Praise the Lord. Okay, so first we're going to start with our, now it's so funny. I have this farina bread recipe written down, but I'm not going to follow it specifically. This is a base, and I got this recipe.
You may be asking yourself, why farina bread and not just cornbread? Well, in How to Eat to Live, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Master Fraud Muhammad flatly forbids the eating of cornbread. So delicious farina it is.
Recipe offline, and it calls for 1 cup of brown sugar. That's a lot of sugar for a savory farina bread, in my opinion. So I'm only using about 1/2 cup, but needless to say, tweak it how you want. It calls for 1 1/3 cups of unbleached all-purpose flour. We're actually going to be using a little bit of unbleached, there we go, can you see it? A little bit of unbleached bread flour. It has, I think, more glutinous factors in it. It gives you a heartier bread. And we're also, of course, going to be doing my usual mixing of the two different flours. So I want you to do 1 cup of whole wheat. So that's alright. And I'll go ahead and put the flour in this bowl as well. That's called being smart. Alright, so 1 cup, because the flour ratio is going to be the same along as well as the farina ratio. So about 1 cup of whole wheat flour, 1/3 cup. Actually, yeah, no, 1/3 cup. Sorry about that, so loud. 1/3 cup of bread flour. Now I'm not doing this. Yes. All right, take your 1/4 cup of farina, cream of wheat by any other name, a teaspoon of. You're going to mix all of your dry ingredients in together first. About a teaspoon of salt. Oh, no, that was a 1/2 teaspoon, so technically. About 1.5 teaspoons of salt. 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, but actually we're just going to do 2 teaspoons. And about a 1/2 cup of sugar per mix. Alright, now we're going to take our wet ingredients. Alima is doing the all delicious yummy butter farina bread. I am going to be doing a garlic herb farina bread. So this again is one of those herb cubes that I've showed you before, with about 1/3 cup of olive oil. And so I'm going to blend mine because I want to make sure I get all of that yumminess. I'm going to pour a little bit of my milk. So this recipe calls for 1 cup of milk. This is actually 50/50. I'm going to pour just a little bit of it. a little bit of it in there so I can get all of the herbs. Gonna pour that right onto the bowl. No herb left behind. Now you your cream.
Okay.
Just gonna mix all of your wets. Recipe calls for 1 egg. Okay, so 1 brown egg each. Crickety crick. Now this is something that the recipe does not call for, but I like to add it in because I really like a nice, moist, delicioso farina bread. This is kefir. Kefir is a yogurt. It's a cultured low-fat milk, actually. And it's plain, unsweetened. I add maybe about a 1/2 cup. Make sure your oven is preheated to 375 degrees. So these bake at 375 for about 25 to 30 minutes, or until you see the tops of it start to split. So this is the texture of it now. I prefer it to be just a little bit more liquidier. So I'm gonna add just a bit more kefir. To up that hydration level.
Mixing managed.
We are going to be using cupcake pans, already pre-greased a little. This recipe, 1 batch, should yield at least 12 muffins, or 1, 9 by 11? Yeah, I think it's like a 9 by 9 baking dish, 9 by 9. All right, Alima is going to be placing both of these into the oven at 375 degrees, again for approximately 25 to 30 minutes. So these are our delicious farina bread muffins that are quite easy to store in. These are deliciously can be stored. These are deliciously can be stored. These can easily be stored in the freezer for later enjoyment. I really like to make everything in big batches. So I can freeze them and enjoy them at a later date. But there you are.
It's like magic!
And this has been another episode of Maryam's Making Magic. Until next time.
Maryam's making magic.